finally here. Playoff football starts right now.
Yes, sir. We are officially 0-0, my good man. Records are out the window. The only thing that matters right now is our seed, which we have 2 home games at least in the playoffs guaranteed. If somebody could knock off the stinking Lions, maybe an NFC championship. But one game at a time, as we say.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun couple days. There's Notre Dame, Penn State Thursday. There's another college football semifinal Friday, Saturday. Super wild card weekend kicks off.
I got some crazy wild card predictions. My wild card predictions are wild. By the way, can you stand up and do a twirl? Do you have the fancy hoodie on?
This is fancy.
Wow, fancy guy.
Fancy Todd Snyder collab.
Let me see the sleeve. That's the first time I've seen the other one. Wow, the Todd Snyder.
Yeah, it's good.
That thing is sick. I'm rocking the Pond Lee Hockey freebie. Shout out to our sponsor, Pond Lee Hockey. If you get injured, call Pond Lee Hockey.
They're great. I'm trying to get them to come one of these weeks and do something or do a tailgate, and giving away free food for a month with Performance Meal Prep. We're going to pull that probably Thursday or Friday. So
nice.
You and a friend.
The Performance Meal Prep drop-offs have significantly reduced.
I'm
in need.
I have a bunch of it.
Nice.
I just, for the holidays, I didn't order any.
Amen.
Watch this talking. That's that side chatter on the show. Yeah, so we missed last week. We didn't go to the game really or recap Dallas at all. That tailgate was fun. But end of the regular season, a lot of firings, Black Monday they call it. And
Black Monday, the Patriots guy got fired 30 minutes after the game was over. And I know why. I guarantee he probably was supposed to lose that game and didn't, which is insane. They go from 1 to 4. Those people that just focus on the Eagles people that are just Eagles-focused fans. The Patriots fired Gerard Mayo. If they control their own destiny for the number 1 pick, all they need to do is lose the game. They win the game. The Titans lose. They drop the 4 picks. That's crazy. Yeah. Then they fired the guy a half an hour when the game was over. I got an alert that Mayo was fired.
Week 1, they beat the Bengals, too, to start the year. So that was another game where the Bengals missed the playoffs by 1 game, and the Patriots beat the Bengals. I don't know how they did, I guess, to start the year, the beginning of the year. But, yeah, they stink. Teams stink. The biggest kind of Eagle-y news is the Doug Peterson firing, which I don't know, what I don't really care about the Jaguars, but some of these teams, man, it's like, I think the Giants honestly did the right thing by keeping the coach and the GM. Their roster's not very good. Like, you can bring in all the coaches and all the new management you want. Like, your personnel and your team's not good. Maybe that's on them, but not really. The guy's only been in charge for maybe 1 draft, I think.
Yeah, show me a team whose coach gets fired that has a serviceable at best quarterback.
Yeah.
Not one. Trevor Lawrence officially stinks. I mean, he's obviously not taking them anywhere. They're now sort of like stuck with him because he was a higher draft pick and contract's not friendly, and Doug Peterson takes the fall. My focus, honestly, it wasn't on Dougie P. It was on the classic, our team is good, and now our coordinators are going to start to get poached like Shane Steichen was last year, which he had a pretty rough season, rough 2 seasons so far with the Colts. He was poached when we had our Super Bowl run, and now Kellen Moore has 2 interviews on the table that we need to look out for. Are you nervous about Kellen Moore perhaps getting poached?
No, because the 2 interviews are the Saints and the Jags. The word is the Saints are going to hire Aaron Glenn, the coordinator from the Lions, the defense coordinator, who did a great job having all the injuries in the world. And He's going to get that job probably. And Ben Johnson, the other coordinator for the Lions, is probably going to get a head coaching job. And I don't know who the Jaguars are going to go with. They could steal Kellen Moore, but
I haven't looked at the Lions schedule next year. Is the Lions schedule next year as difficult as ours is? Our schedule is insane next year. I mean, we're getting like completely off the rails here to talk about next year, but we're playing 10 different teams that are in the playoffs. It's like absurd because the divisions that we matched against ended up with 3 teams in the postseason. So that plus the first place schedule, it's like the most wild schedule next year.
yeah, a lot's made of that, but you always have 3 or 4 new teams that get in the postseason next year. So all the teams that are in the postseason this year, they're not guaranteed to be good next year. But yeah, I don't.
Right. Plus,
But
they're better type teams.
I
There's a lot of parity in the league.
this year's schedule is really easy, and I mean we're gonna have first place schedule coming off of the season we've had. Pretty.
Everybody said we had a gauntlet schedule this year. I can remember this gauntlet. The gauntlet. I mean, we really plowed through our schedule. I thought, and we had a lot of injury adversity too this year that nobody talks about. I mean, how many games did we not have our full roster in there? It was like shocking that people would say to not rest these guys. I mean, the few losses we had were when we didn't have our starting players, and we had a tough year.
Week 5 bye, the early bye. The rest looking at it now, the rest was definitely the right move. I know everybody wanted it and stuff like that, but there was so many injuries this week, and as a fan, I wouldn't have mind, going for it, but I don't have as much at stake. Yeah, and we have another short home game. I guess we were supposed to have an extra home game this year, but we lost it to Brazil. And
so you had the extra one was this year. So last year was an off year. The 2022 season, we had the extra home game. Then we had off year. This year, we hemorrhaged a home game to Brazil. And then next year, we're in that off again. So, yeah, I think that's tough.
I think within the next year or two, they're already talking about the Super Bowl owning President's Weekend and it getting pushed up another week and them adding an 18th game so you don't have that. So when you talk about the record, probably in the next decade, they're eventually going to move to like a 20-game season. So if you average 100 yards a game rushing and there's 20 games in the season, like you're going to be over that 2,000-yard mark fairly easily. Like I know it is a passing league now. The teams don't run the ball as much, but like that's not that factored into them going for the record or not, but they're going to keep long term. They're going to keep adding games, right? So 1,000-yard season isn't what it once was anymore. I mean, you play 17, you play 18 games.
That's
1,000 by 18. It's not even like 100 yards a game. So it's not breaking.
That was one of my main arguments against resting Saquon is that I kept using the word the record is tainted. I was being a tad sort of flamboyant with that on Facebook to say it's tainted. It's not necessarily that it's tainted. It's that it's such an easy record to digest, like to dissect, right? You can go with he did it in this amount of games. Oh yeah, but he did it in this many carries. And then eventually, like you're saying, we're going to go to every team is going to have an extra game because they're going to work an international game into everybody's schedule. And there's just always was going to be a way to sort of talk yourself either in and out of the record. So for me, that plus the fact it's a team game, I'm not really worried about individual records. The obvious move was to rest him, and also you'd have your bye since week 5. I mean, everything to me, all the common sense led to it. I know there was a lot of chatter to play him. We didn't really get to go through that. Should we play him or should we not play him? So let's go forward. Now that they obviously did sit him. If we do lose in the playoffs, God forbid, do you think that makes it worse that they sat him this last game, or does it not matter?
It's going to be a huge topic of conversation, but they need to set themselves up. And although the team has to go one game at a time, we can look ahead a little bit. And if you were telling me in Wild Card Weekend we would have either played the Commanders, the Rams, or the Bucks, I'll take any of those teams. The Packers might be the hardest test they get. So should they beat the Packers, they're going to get either the Bucks, the Rams, or the Commanders. I'm saying it now. This game's going to be tough. But next week, we're gonna blow the door. We're gonna be in the NFC Championship game. If you can win this week, you're gonna be in the NFC Championship game because the divisional round at home. You're gonna play Baker Mayfield. We destroyed them in Week 3 last year. They beat us in the playoffs. They beat us this year, shorthanded. Give me the Bucks like 2 weeks from now. Don't want to get ahead of ourselves, but the
I have a
matchup
slightly
this week
different
is
take.
so tough. The matchup this week is so tough. I can't believe we drew the Packers. I really can't. But hey, they're shorthanded too. So
I have a very, very different take. We'll get to our game predictions. I guess we're going to sort of butt heads on that, and that's fine. But my question was more like, is this season a failure if not only do we lose in the playoffs, should we have gone for the Saquon record?
yeah, you can't look at that. They need to set them up for success.
I agree with that.
This week is really tough, though. It's very possible that they didn't get the record and they get bounced. Like, it's possible. It's really hard to beat the same team twice, all that rhetoric, blah, 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 blah. We played them, we beat them. Although we're completely different teams now. It was literally Saquon's first game in the offense. And, they've got a lot of tape on us. We've got a lot of tape on them. They're missing Christian Watson. They're missing Jair Alexander. I think you got to, you can't. They made the choice that they made. It's going to be a huge topic of conversation, no doubt, if they lose. But I think looking at it, they had to do it. They needed the break.
I'm at peace. My response to that, I'm totally at peace. The season is always and forever will be a disappointment for me now because my standard is championships. That's my standard. It's my only standard. I don't care about individual records. Love you to death. Love Saquon Barkley. I got my run the ball hat on and all that. But players come and go. They're here for 5 years, 6 years, 8 years, maybe if you're lucky. You get a legend, Jason Kelsey, blah, blah, blah. The championship, the trophy, that's what lives forever. I don't think that a rushing title is like a city bragging right that I even really care about. I mean, I just felt like so many people cared so much about this record, and I'm like, why? Like this thing behind me, that's what you want. I want 5 of these up here, not just this one and then a rushing title.
Jerome says it's been quite honor to finally quiet. He said quiet the honor, but little typo there. Quite the honor to finally meet you. I'm a huge fan and of Eagles game. I think he's from another country. Congrats, Jerome. We've had a few Eagles fans from other countries and even from other states that are going to be coming in. First time gamers this week. People's first time being at the link, first playoff game, what have you. Uma and here he sensacional. That's what someone commented on the pipe video that I made. So we've got people.
The energy is high, bro.
What if you can have it all? What if you could have both? Yeah, I don't know. They would have had to.
We can't. It's over. We made a decision. Let's go on to the Packers. We can't. Yeah. We can't have it all.
And somebody said 1250 is the new 1,000. So the best, the only thing that would be cool about it was 14 games. OJ Simpson, 16 games. Eric Dickerson's the man. Saquon would have been the 17 game, and he would, by leaps and bounds, be the most successful player of this era because those guys are so old. It would have taken a while for someone to pass them, even if they do keep adding games on. But whatever, we're playing for more than that. John Charles is going to roll up this week.
I'm happy to see John going to a game instead of selling tickets for a game. That means a lot to me. Although he is the ticket guy. If you guys ever need tickets, text John. He's got I had somebody looking and I sent him a message and he sent me like a typed up document of like, you want this section, you want that section, you want to get in price, you want a luxurious thing. I mean, John's the man.
Yeah, someone on our page was selling the crazy like pregame. You go into one of the FanDuel clubs or one of those clubs beforehand and all that nonsense.
I hate to tell you this. I'm telling you this live because I was too embarrassed to text it to you. I didn't oversleep Sunday, but I did wake up and I didn't really look at my phone. But on Sunday morning at maybe 10:30, I looked at my phone. I had a text from a friend at 8 a.m. giving us four club seats and that really good parking. Remember that one time we parked so close to the stadium, Merrill Reese walked right by us, and I was like, "Is that Merrill Reese?" And it was like couldn't get my phone out fast enough, and I messaged her back. I was like, "Oh man, I guarantee you
I
gave these away already." She's like, "Oh, they're
I
gone."
would have just went up to see the guys for a couple hours and then drove back and maybe missed the first quarter and listened in the car. I would have
I
gone up.
would have hung out in the club level.
I don't
Nice
know
and
if I would
warm.
have. I don't know if I would have went in for that whole game. That game was brutal, and I wouldn't want to go in for like a quarter and leave early or something like that.
I would for free club
I
seats
don't
and
know
free
if I could
parking.
sit through that game for 4 quarters. I had like red zone and stuff on this past week. The last hour of red zone was like boom, boom, boom. You had the Bears
Yeah, it was
game
good.
going on. You had the
I
Packers
agree.
trying to figure out who we're gonna play and stuff like that. So
Oh, that kept switching at the last minute. That was crazy. That the end
yeah,
of that game. I mean, the Packers kind of blew that game. I mean, you ended up Washington won, but yeah,
it was
that was
really
crazy.
crazy. But yeah, like a couple weeks ago, the Dallas game was crazy. It got like 9 tickets in our section. Uncle Rico's a legend. He went to the Rams game where we blew them out. He came to the Cowboys game where we blew them out. And we got to bring them all to like C6. That was really crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And E-Rock just posted a great, like a Goodfellas video, and he was trying to get us in it to do a segment, but I totally missed that. I totally botched that, and didn't do it. And it's gonna be a lot of fun this week. We're gonna meet a lot of people up there. We're gonna bounce around once again, starting FDR Park and go to C6. I gotta visit Gail and stuff. We haven't seen him in a couple weeks. I may go there like
Yeah, I
first.
think we almost
I may
should
go there,
beeline it.
I
I
may
think
go
we
there
should
first.
beeline it.
And then we'll
Yeah,
go back
because
to C6 and then go in through the side entrance of the stadium.
yeah, I've said this. If you go to C6, there's no like stopping by. You get sort of like swept up in it. And I'd imagine Fourth of John's is the same, but based on our timing and like how we walk into the stadium, Fourth and John always ends up being our last stop because we're on our way out. Hey, who knows? We might get stuck there and
Stuck
not
there.
make it back. That's fine.
Yeah.
Weather, bro. Have you looked at the weather? We might get snow Saturday into Sunday.
That's good. I got to cover for my car. It'll be 4-wheel drive. We'll be bringing the Jeep through the snow.
Oh, good. You get your comfort level up with the car to drive it now.
Yeah, let's rip it. I'll bring it right in.
Let's
I'll
rip
have Delco mom dance on top of the soft top and break it. I got Gap insurance. I got regular insurance. Delco mom. You launched a page and I sent her an invitation to.
My favorite new Instagrammy person that I met is Halftime Holly. Did you get to like sort of shoot
She
stuff with
said
her?
she brought you something last week too. She brought you a disco ball, like it was like an ornament thing.
Oh
But
man,
you
I
weren't
wish
there. They were giving us hell. They were sending us videos like you guys are like Tom and Caitlin, I think, and like they were sending us videos.
you talking about the Giant game?
Yeah, they brought you a
Oh
gift.
yeah, I know. I know.
That's why I'm like, God, never again. I don't care. We're gonna have seasons where we win like 2 games, so it's all downhill from here. So I think we just got to keep.
No way, no way.
Got to
So
keep going.
she gave me that little like mini Stanley that had like
Yeah.
a tiny little straw, and I had it in my pocket the whole game, and my jacket fell down like 10 times, but like throughout the game. So we get home. I was like, hey Danielle, check out this cool thing I got, and I had the cup, but not the straw. The straw was gone. I'm like, oh man, it must have fallen out. And like 3 days later, I had the jacket on, and I felt something, and the straw had fallen like in. There was like a little tiny hole in the pocket. It was like in the lining of the jacket, and I like fished the straw out. So I have it.
Oh, Dancing Delco mom entered the chat. She joined the Instagram real quick. That's
She was
funny.
spoken into
So the
existence,
Facebook and the YouTube comments feed through, but the Instagram I gotta keep going over.
and I don't
check.
see Instagram.
So let's go Eagles. Let's go Eagles. Go Birds.
Yeah. You want some TikTok? I'll give you some TikTok comments if you want. Got a couple good ones. Someone
And
said,
shout out
"Hey,
to Freddie Mitchell. Freddie Mitchell.
hey, remember me? Broncos chances. I'm gonna be getting to that in a minute. Hey, remember me? No. Who are the Cowboys playing next week? I like that one. Let's see what else we got. Love your pages, boys. Keep it up. So good love over on the Child's Network TikTok.
So we met Freddie Mitchell in 2017, the Super Bowl year. We were in the Victory Beer Garden. I don't know why we were in Xfinity, but maybe one of the first
Eating.
meetings we had with
We went to eat. I was hungry. I made you sit down while I ate. Classic.
I guess. So and then through the channels, he doesn't do sports talk radio, but he was doing a morning show of like just a music format station. And I work, obviously, we don't have any sports stations where I work. It's just top 40 music, classic rock, whatever. So he does, I don't know if it's Odyssey. I forget who he worked for at the time. But it was a morning show with like probably 5 or 6 people on it. And Freddie's on that. So I know he's local, and I've run into him a few times. So a lot of people posted the 4th and 26. And then I said, I'm going to send this invitation to collab with Freddie because he's local. Like, he checks it. He's on there. Like, he comments on stuff. He answers. He's a good dude. So he accepted that, John, right away. And then hopefully he rolls up to the tailgate. He knows what C6 is because he worked in Philly. They've been doing that tailgate since like the 80s. And he's worked Philly morning radio for a minute now. So he knows about it already. If he's going to the game, I would guarantee you he walks up because he knows it, and he knows it well. So that was really cool. Good vibes with 4th and 26. Good vibes with the Scout Gallo squad. Got to reach out to like Jordan and all the people, and Marissa and all the people that were in Sao Paulo to see if we can get them to pull up.
Yeah, we can rent some city bikes.
The Limon was legendary.
Oh yeah, I got a nice little surprise for that. I'm working on some stuff for the playoffs.
The Tanner looked really good. I actually have a graded rookie card of his, which is awesome.
So here's a fun Tanner thing. Tanner McKee is huge. Dude is 6'7". He's as tall as the linemen when they're out there warming up. I mean, he has got a great shot to get a backup deal somewhere next year. I mean, I hope it's in Philly, but I don't think we'll be able to afford him because he might even be able to get a gig somewhere if somebody gets injured. I think he's pretty solid. He's got the great demeanor, which is very, very important to backup quarterback. They have to be sort of chill. And he's really, really chill, like Nick Foles kind of vibe.
His family. So he didn't know he was going to play in the Cowboys game at the end. But his family knew he was playing this week. So they flew in from California, I think. And he's probably on like a league minimum type pay. He drove himself to pick his parents up from the airport. He brought them.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he's like down. Just, you don't realize these guys are all down earth guys. Like you're saying, like with Freddie Mitchell, like he just like DMs us, like, "Yo, did I do the collab right?" We're like, "Yeah." Exactly. He's like, "Oh, awesome." I'm like, "Hey, we're gonna be at C6 this week and come through." He's like, "Okay." I'm like, "Whoa, that's very cool."
Yeah, it is cool. So and hopefully there's some big events coming up. There's going to be past and former players. There's a big fundraiser at Chickies and Pete's at the end of the month. Try and get to. And yeah, a lot of these guys are local and accessible. On Thanksgiving, I drove around. We went in Haddonfield. We went by Sean Couturier's house, Kyle Schwarber's house, Bryce Harper, Nick Sirianni's house. Very just like modest. I mean, they use it part-time, I guess.
Yeah, the Saquon's house that he just bought was, I think, under $700,000. Was not like a crazy house.
Devontae Smith just got engaged, so he's in like Morristown, I think. But let's look at some of the other games this week before we do Eagles-Packers. So the first one Saturday is Chargers-Texans. Who do you like there?
I like the Texans. I've liked the Texans all season more than they've liked me. I drafted CJ Stroud in fantasy thinking that he was going to be a lot better, but for some reason I still have like faith in them, and I still just am kind of like anti-Chargers. I don't really believe in the Chargers and anything. They just don't like excite me as a team. So I like the Texans.
The Child's Network. Someone said TikTok's gonna be gone. Blah blah blah. Yeah, we're trying to get the live creator studio or whatever, so we could feed the podcast through that. We have to hit a certain number of followers to get that. That's funny.
Playoff picks.
We got a lot of people coming in. CJ Stroud been sacked 52 times. I love CJ Stroud. I am a huge CJ Stroud's a big Fanatics Michael Rubin guy. So if you can tell by the Todd Snyder, that's my dream collab as far as Fanatics Sportsbook, Fanatics Live. They do live selling, sports cards, breaks. Michael, it's a weird click, but Michael Rubin and like Robert Kraft and like CJ Stroud, they're always like doing like events and stuff together. They came to Linwood with Tom Brady and they went to the trade night, the Topps cards. I'm gonna go with my Texans. I like them. They're the only team in Texas that you're allowed to like a little bit.
That's accurate.
I hate Harbaugh. Everybody thinks Justin Herbert's like the best. Like, oh, Justin Herbert was on the Eagles. They'd be amazing. He hasn't done anything. 70% of the money is on the Chargers. Give me the Texans.
Yeah, I like the Texans too. All right, I went first on that one. You get to go first. Next one, Pittsburgh.
Ravens. See, Baltimore 10-point favorites. I don't see them getting bounced in the first round.
That's a lock. Baltimore's
a lock.
Yeah.
Although I think Baltimore beat them like twice. Pittsburgh hasn't beat them once yet this year. So anytime, do it when it matters, I guess.
Yeah, I have a coworker that's like a Mondo Sixers guy. Actually commutes regularly from this area to Pittsburgh home games. Him and his dad have had Pittsburgh Steelers tickets for a hot minute. He hates Mike Tomlin. The Pittsburgh fans are like how we were with Andy Reid when it was just like they were just so over it. And like the success is kind of overblown. Like their playoff success is really bad. Even if you look at the playoff games the Steelers have won the past couple seasons, they're against really, really mediocre subpar teams.
I can see that. I mean, they're really annoying. They win like 9-10 games and they get in almost like 3 out of every 4 years.
Yeah, they're because their division stinks. They're like the Patriots in the early 2000s. I mean, Tom Brady and them were amazing, but the division was horrible.
Yeah, horrible. There was never anybody on their heels or
4 or 5 wins guaranteed every year. Bungles were terrible before Joe Burrow, and the Browns have been bad since I was born.
Yeah. Well, speaking of divisions, the Broncos, that Chiefs division has the Broncos in it. And they're playing the Bills.
Give me the Broncos.
That wouldn't be good for us.
That's my upset pick of the week is the stinking Broncos. I have no way, shape, form, or reason to have any belief in the Buffalo Bills. There was a time where I thought the Buffalo Bills and the Eagles would play each other in the Super Bowl. I do not believe that to be true anymore. I'm going with the Broncos for a wild card upset.
Philly Proud said Mike Tomlin's the new Marvin Lewis. Oh my God, the Bengals too when they're like Carson Palmer and like Chad, TJ Hushmanzada and stuff. They'd be 10-6 every year and do nothing.
They're pathetic. Blaming the Chiefs for them not getting in the playoffs. There's nothing more pathetic than blaming a team that has to win or lose so that you get in the playoffs and you blame your playoff in or out on that. That is like the lowest form of fandom.
Yeah.
Give me the Broncos.
That'll be fun. We play the Bills next year. That may be a trip to look for. Lambeau's a trip to look for. Broncos, cool. I'm taking the Bills there. I like the Bills I like the Bills through and through. They're in the same situation as we are, actually. If you like the Broncos that much, now I'm getting scared. But they win this game. They've got
I don't. It's my upset. It's an upset pick. I mean, but Bills are favorites.
I got you. But if the Bills win this game against they're kind of a newer team, they have Sean Payton, they have a really good defense. They could pull it off. The Broncos, if the Bills win this week, they're going to be they'll walk through the divisional round and be in the championship game against the Chiefs. Probably.
Agree. If the Bills win this weekend, we'll have the Bills-Eagles Super Bowl. I'll take the Bills the way through. The Bills, this is a prove-it week for me for the Bills. So for an upset pick, there's always one. That's my big upset pick.
That's good. Eagles, Packers, it opened up at 3.5. It moved as high as Eagles -5.5. It's back to
And
four
we have
and
to
a
do
half.
that last.
We can do that last. I'll skip that. But that's moving around. It's jumping around. The over-unders are jumping around. The night game on Sunday.
Spoiler alert, doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm all fired up.
So the night game after the Eagles game, it's gonna be a good game. Everyone was shitting on this game. The Commanders Bucks game is gonna be huge.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I like. Oh wait, you're up. You're up first. Washington, Tampa Bay. Washington, Tampa Bay pick.
Oh my God, there's so much money on the pub's been hitting too.
Oh, you're using the money to make your pick. You got to pick with your heart.
No, I'll tell you why I want the Bucks to win, because there's like 4 people you could play, and it wouldn't be the Commanders. I want the Bucks to win because it lines up better for us, but my gut tells me the Commanders win this game. They're just better. Jaden Daniels is just better. I just think.
Well, there's no reseeding. The Bucks barely. Bracket.
The Bucks barely made it in. So the reason I say this is you can't play the Commanders in the divisional round. Like, if the Commanders win, they're going to play the 1 seed. And then we would have to play
it doesn't reseed. It doesn't reseed.
No, I know, but if we beat the Packers and the Commanders win, the lowest remaining team would be the Commanders, the 6th seed, because the Packers are 7. They would go to Detroit and get smoked.
No, it doesn't reseed. The bracket, it just does. There's no reseeding in the divisional round. We play whoever, Washington or Tampa Bay. I mean, we play. Oh wait, this is weird. Why does that look like that?
No. The Detroit.
I'm looking at a weird bracket. I'm sorry.
Detroit plays the lowest remaining seed. So if we win, the 7's gone. Gotcha. Detroit plays the Commanders, the 6. We would have to then play either the Rams or the Vikings, so I do not want to play.
I see it. I see what you're saying now.
If the Buccaneers win, the Vikings or the Rams would go to Detroit, and they could knock Detroit. One of those teams could knock Detroit out and give us a home NFC Championship game. There is no shot the Commanders win, then go to Detroit, and then win again, and then they come to Philly for the NFC Championship game. There's 0. Right. And I'm getting way too ahead. We got to take it one game at a time. But there is no shot the Commanders win 2 playoff games. So you've got to root for the Bucks this week. The Vikings and Rams winner goes to Detroit, and they could knock them out for us. But anyway, having said that, taking the Commanders.
I'm taking Washington. Yeah, I'm taking Washington too. Yeah,
and we're going to have to play Vikings Rams.
Yes, Vikings Rams.
Go ahead.
And then Vikings Rams I guess it's an upset. It's an upset pick because it's 5-4, but that's an easy choice for me. I think Minnesota has been proving a lot more all season long. I have no reason to pick against them, except for the fact that they really fell on their face last week in a kind of like a gotta have it game, looking for home field. But that was a tough task. It was $400 for standing room for the Detroit Minnesota game. That game was so hyped up. Detroit put a lot, and their fans put a lot into that game. But Minnesota kind of fell flat in that one, but I think they find their footing. I think they can beat the Rams. The Rams aren't that good.
Yeah, I think the Vikings bounced back. It was a real shame because I watched that whole game. In the first half, the Vikings were in the red zone like 4 times and they couldn't score. They could have easily had 21, 24, 28 points. They ended up getting blown out like 30-9. But in the first half, they hit Justin Jefferson in the hands in the end zone like 3 times. In what was it? In like 5 red zone trips, they kicked 3 field goals, scored 9 points, and then 2 times they went for it and didn't get it. Like, if they could have had in their 5 red zone trips, they could have like 20, 30 points like that. So I think they're just better.
And by the way, take notes, because if we get inside your 5, Detroit, we'll touch push it 4 times if we have to. We're not going away with field goals inside the 5. Our rate of scoring inside the 5 is incredible this year. So that's not a problem for us.
Commanders aren't winning. Sam Darnold's Cinderella story is over. Sam Darnold sinks.
It could be. That
People
very
like
well could be.
people like the Rams. People like Puka. People like the wide receivers. People like the high offense. They like McVay. I
Home
get
field,
it.
man. Home field in the playoffs is legit.
I don't want to. I don't want to play the Rams. I can tell you that much. They're
We
moving the
killed
ball.
the Rams. We killed the Rams.
Yeah,
The only team you got to have any level of worry about is Detroit, and even them. I'll be honest with you. I just keep looking at Jared Goff's face, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be afraid of Jared Goff in a game. Like, it's just insane to me. And we match up so perfectly with them, like person for person. We match up so much better for them. And I'm sorry, we have a way better coach than Detroit. Dan Gamble is going to screw a game up. If it's not sooner, it's going to be later. And we'll be right there to take full advantage of that. I have no fear of the NFC.
Having said that, past our picks, give me Bucks win, Rams win, the two home teams win. The Rams go to Detroit. They could give them a little run and knock them out for us. And the
I'll take Minnesota. I'll like hastily take Minnesota just to be for us to have something different.
Yeah, Goff. Someone said Philly Proud said Goff looks like you, Vic. He's a good looking dude.
Exactly. Would you be afraid of me in a playoff game?
That's good. All right, so that's all of them. We both
except for ours.
Except for ours. 66% of the money on the Eagles. Eagles minus 4.5. Over under was 47. It's down to 45. I think that was after the Watson out news. It opened at one number and moved down a little bit. Expecting lower scoring game. Could be wind. I don't see the wind. Someone said there was like 18-mile-an-hour winds or something like that. I saw like 5-mile-an-hour winds. No weather. I think it's going to be beautiful. I think it's going to be like almost 40 and sunny Sunday.
There's a snow chance Saturday and Sunday.
Saturday. That's cool.
If you just snow in the field, they'll cover it.
No,
and I don't. Up and whatever.
As ugly as it could get, the 40-some-odd line tells me the Eagles are going to score 30 points and the Eagles are going to keep this team under 20. So I'm going to take the Eagles 31-17.
Oh, you're way more like me than I thought. I thought you said it was going to be close.
I don't like that we drew them in the first round, but if it goes the Eagles' way and I can't pick against the Eagles, they're going to blow them out. They're going to blow them out by more than a touchdown.
The Eagles are going to win in a blowout this weekend. Okay, there's no question in my mind. The Eagles are going to blow the Packers out this weekend. It's going to be something like 41-13 unless there's weather. I have no problem with that prediction. And I love the Eagles this weekend. I love them against the Packers. The Packers are banged up.
You and Baldy said they're gonna.
I love Baldy this weekend. Me and Baldy in Brazil. Me and Baldy were boys in Brazil, and now we're gonna be boys this weekend again.
Yeah, 31-17. That 40-something 5-point line tells me the Eagles hold these Bulls under 20, and the Eagles are scoring 30 points at home.
Yeah, I've been very conservative in my picks all year too, by the way. I'm not just like this fanboy guy that just picks the Eagles to win and blow out games. In fact, like a lot of times I'll go off lines and look at lines and things like that. But I just know the team, and there's like a great feeling around the team. I've been watching some. I don't know if you ever go on YouTube, but they have like really weird, like little player interviews and coach interviews. And there was a Vic Fangio talking about Sirianni with such like appreciation of what Sirianni does and what he brings to the locker room and how the players. Guys, they're not making this up. They're not fabricating this. Like, I can't stand people talking about Nick Sirianni in a bad way. Like, they love the guy. The players like the guy. The coaches love the guys. Fangio, something like his messaging to the team is perfect, and every week he works on stuff, and I don't know, just everything feels right for me for the Eagles to get something rolling, and then we'll see.
See who we
I think
draw
if they
next.
do make it to the end, it'll be a coin flip because that Lions team is very good. I'm not taking them for granted, but I think they can roll these first 2 rounds, and I hope they do.
Yeah. Somebody
Yeah.
said Birds scored 30 plus. There's a nor'easter rolling up the coast. It's fine, dude. Friggin' Chiefs
Nor'easter
gonna
Nick,
be
we're
doing donuts.
ready.
I'm like almost prepared to be like a line lizard and get in the lineup and like wait for the lots to open. To be honest with you, because it's not going to be that early because it's 4 o'clock. The lots are going to open at 12. When are people going to line up? Like 9 or 10? Earlier than that?
No, the lots open way earlier than that. Maybe there'll be like a Wings game. Remember that one year there was a Wings game at 1? People got the lots like 6 for like an 8 game.
There's a Sixer game Friday, I think, or Saturday. I don't know.
I don't
I'm gonna
know.
try and go to them, see them in like March. They're gonna be like
Yeah.
finally. They're gonna be like 500 by like March. They need like another month, and then
And I got to take the kids to hockey, dude. The kids are like
let's go,
my kid.
let's go,
They have like
Bird.
no idea. Yeah, what's up? They got no idea like of like Flyers and hockey. Like the Flyers just been so dead the past couple years. Like my
Flyers.
son actually the other day. My son the other day goes, "Hey, Dad, why don't we like the New Jersey Devils? They're from New Jersey." I was like, no, 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 you don't understand because they don't like the Flyers have been so irrelevant. So we got to get up there to go see
The
some
Jersey
hockey.
Devils. I hate the Jersey Devils. I interviewed with them. It was like one of my first interviews out of college.
Oh, I know. I hate the Devils too.
I didn't get hired, so screw them.
Biggest mistake they ever made. 250,000 followers later, get wrecked.
Oh, last before we go, I thought the Jason Kelsey show, and I gotta watch too what I say. 'Cause shout out to Emily and shout out to Nady and shout out to who's I gonna say? Ryan Hall and Sean at C6 and all those guys. They were trying to get us to go to the taping. It was a Friends and Family Thursday. Friday they taped the first episode. We had regular tickets, which were like first come first serve entries through the lottery, but they were trying to get us like VIP so that we were guaranteed entry and guaranteed a seat or whatever. So shout out to them. But I thought the first episode they were a little jittery and it was a little corny. But I think it'll get better. What did you think of the first episode?
I think. Yeah, no, there was moments where it was clunky, and there was moments where it was like super clever. So I think it has a lot of promise. It's getting kind of like kicked around right now because apparently the ratings weren't very good, but it's like a weird time slot, and it sort of aired on a weird day, and the Eagles kind of like didn't have a big game in that weekend because it was like a rest game. But I thought the show had enough charm.
Yeah, it's on at 1 a.m.
My
Actually, it's on at 1 a.m. and you can watch it on demand. The best way to watch it on demand is on YouTube. There's extended. So when they go to commercial break, they're asking people questions in the audience, and Dumpy was yelling stuff out. Maniac Mully was yelling out questions, and
That's cool.
it was really good. And Ozzy Baldy it was on it. He's the man. Chuck and Howard Eskin used to come in to the club and stuff all the time. When I worked at Borgata, they wouldn't stay, but they would I would get them in so they didn't have to pay cover. They would have one drink and just look at all the youngins, and then they would bounce. And so Chuck's the man. He's such a nice guy. So it was cool that he was on it too. But ready for the playoffs to kick some butt. Green Bay Packers. Also, we beat the Packers. We'll be the only team in history to beat them in 2 different countries.
That's pretty sweet.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go to Lambeau next year and beat their ass again, hopefully.
Yeah. Speaking of that, meme of the week time.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yep. Meme of the week.
Oh, by the way, Jerry Jones was on Landman, and he was amazing.
Well, I gotta watch that. Did you watch the clip that I posted this morning of him talking about how he didn't buy the team for anybody but himself? The more Jerry Jones talks, the happier I get.
Meme of the week,
There's
I'm going
Cowboys
with.
fans chirping me on TikTok. I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy to be a Cowboys fan chirp right now. Like, go in your hole.
Yeah, meme of the week, since we missed this whole tailgate recap. This it has 1 million. It's up to 1 million views now, I think, is my dancing Delco mom. Which, by the way, like everybody at the tailgate, I don't know. They're like this lady comes with her dancing on her Hummer or something. Everyone was kind of shitting on her a little bit, but
There, Eagles fans were mean to each other? No, not us. Oh, that's okay. So for people that don't understand or are maybe an outside team fan, like there's some outside team fans, like we're ruthless to ourselves. Like it's not like we're just mean to everybody. We're also mean to ourselves. Like I've gotten yelled at so many times in games and stuff like that. Like remember the time you wore flip flops? And you're all the game guys like, hey, go back to the beach.
The guy that drives
where you going to the beach, buddy? The beach is that way. Oh my god! We're like Eagles
actually,
for 3 hours.
Yes, sir. We drive up from the beach every single week. What you got?
Yeah, dance it. So again, classic me choice. 0 reach, 0 followers gained, 0 nothing. Nothing makes me happier than a meme like this. The text message of the sports cancellation due to the Eagles game. Can you pull that up? Because there's a story that goes with that. Because that's a real, actual text message that I got.
An honorable mention, the dumpster, which people started stealing, the dumpster Cowboys fan lady. That was crazy.
Yeah, everybody's stealing her.
We missed the whole thing, so we can pick 2. So I'll pick Delco.
Oh, okay. I have a backup.
I'll pick Delco mom and dumpster.
For those of you guys that can't see this, this is a text message that it's a buddy of mine coaches in a travel sports league. I'm not even going to say the sport. I don't want to make anybody feel funny about this. Got this text from somebody else in his league. Hey, just a heads up. The coach from the team we're supposed to play this Sunday at 5:45. They're going to forfeit because the game's during the Eagles playoff, waiting for confirmation to delete it off your schedule. Somebody forfeited their child's sporting game this weekend because the schedule was up against the Birds. That's when I made my 41-13 prediction when I saw that. I'm like, that is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then the people that didn't get it made it in the comments like 100 times funnier.
They're like, what?
I don't get it.
Kids sports are rough. There was a
3 games this year on Sundays.
There was a regular game that was overlapping the Eagles game, and then the wrestling, some of these other pre-events that are going on this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You know, got kids, got family. You can't go to any of that stuff. There's autograph signings this weekend. E-Rock's DJing at the casino. I think on Saturday night. We can't do any of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
I feel like we almost need to crash that.
See you Sunday. No. Yeah, that's gonna be good. That's gonna be good. Philly live, and Aaron's coming from the West Coast. He threw a bag in tailgate when we were at the Rams, so he's funny. He's funny. What you got? Another one that you
had? Hold on. Yep. I gotta jog my memory. I'll give. Okay, so that'll be my meme of the week, and then I am going to give your meme the one because I just want to hear that song one more time. What is that remix of that song? That's the song that me and our boy in our section always go hard to when it comes on. But I'll go with the Brazil official hype video. I
just put in like Pepas. I just put that in, but like some underground option came up. Save the World paid. If anybody hasn't watched it yet,
and then it hits the drop hits at like the perfect time in the meme, which I don't know. Sometimes you get lucky when you craft a reel that it does that, but yours it hit just at the right time. The drop.
I didn't even like try. I just did all the stuff and it actually came in that way. It just came in that way. But
That's a win.
yeah, and Save the World, like the Avicii documentary came out. Swedish South
I
Mafia.
watched that. It was good.
That whole era of like the golden era of EDM from like 2012 to like 2016 that got 40
By the
years
way, when you
old.
start talking about golden eras of music, that's when you're getting old.
The Eagles 41, the Packers 6. I mean, this is Eagles.
It says Eagles early. He says Eagles. He says Eagles early too.
Oh, he's a mess.
Eagle.
I've told the story far too many times. You've heard me tell it 1,000 times, but that moment, dude, you were upstairs in the room or doing the podcast or whatever you were doing. I was just sitting there by myself, just watching these two guys like straight cavemen at the bar. It was dude. Oh my gosh, if I could teleport back in time, it would be that. That was so funny. Lee Moon.
And with the schedule and it being like first week of everything, and with coming off the summer and Labor Day weekend and stuff, we almost didn't make that trip. We would have even never met Bobby or known Bobby. We would have never met. Like some of the people, like, and how he linked up with some of these people, and now we roll up to all their tailgates. We wouldn't even know him for some of these trips. So, gonna keep it going.
Life be like that.
Crazy. All right, well, if you got on the tailgate, hit us up. Follow us on all platforms. Saw a Dallas fan pushed into the urinal. That's great. Go Birds, baby.
Like that.
Dallas tailgate was insane. If you're on the game, send us a message. And please get us on TikTok and YouTube. We're trying to hit our goals. We'll see you.
Yeah, buddy.
Hopefully next week.
Yeah, follow us on everything, filthyphilly.com. Awesome website. Wrote 2 great articles this week, and I'm proud of them. John, dude, John stayed the whole show. Thanks, bro. We love you for that.
He's the man. Yeah, he did hit a bunch of games this year too. Falcons, Jags, Commanders. Hell yeah. See you guys next week.
Go Birds.